What does it mean when someone says a game is too gamey? It's a term that's come to prominence as the gaming revolution of technological advancement has taken the industry by storm, with developers creating games that look less and less like games and more like real-world experiences or cinematic CGI masterpieces. As these enhancements have entered the gaming sphere, they've been more effectively able to transport our minds into their realms, leaving the outside world behind. It's that phenomenon of being immersed in the world, forgetting that you're even playing a game. But from this new frontier of movie-like experience, it seems like some aspects of gaming that make something distinctively a game are now being thought of negatively. A good example is a Game Informer review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order I read when the game came out. They gave it an 8.75 out of 10, which is pretty damn good considering how the scale works, although it's also kind of a middle finger score because it's what you give a game when you really don't want to give it a 9. I'm 8 or 9 hours in, and I'd personally give it a 9.5 easy. It's just a game that seems tailor-made for all my favorite aspects of playing something. It's got exploration, it's got meaningful collectible upgrades, skill trees, XP, it's got Dark Souls-y combat and healing and respawn mechanics, and Metroid-y power-ups that unlock new areas of maps and reward backtracking. It's the perfect Sunburned Albino game. It's also Star Wars, which is a very cinematic license, and time and effort have been put in to create cutscenes and world building that tries to rival an experience you might have watching one of the more recent movies. But despite all this movie-like sheen and high production value, we're always still playing a game at the root of it, and so I was thrown by one of the reviewer's points that the game felt too, quote, gamey. He listed the many giant slides and platforming sections the game has as an example, where the environment is set up as sort of an obvious obstacle course that wouldn't happen naturally. And this assumedly took him out of the immersion a bit, as the back of his mind goes, well, this isn't realistic. And look, as someone who's played 9 hours, like I said, let me tell you, there are an excessive amount of giant slides in Star Wars Fallen Jedi. I'm talking more than the entire Spyro trilogy. Yeah. But you know what? It's fun. Star Wars is a game, which means it's going to have sections that are meant to challenge you as a gamer. If the environment was created with only naturalism in mind, you would not be able to traverse it as a player, because outside walls and cliffs wouldn't have conveniently placed handholds every 5 feet with random ropes to swing on that are perfectly spaced to your maximum jump length, followed by a random explosion that just happens to create a perfect path forward. Every game is gamey. If it wasn't, your character would just get stuck in the middle of a cliffside with nowhere to go, or he'd get lost in the woods for 12 hours, or he wouldn't be able to use a first aid kit after getting shot in the head. There is a suspension of disbelief that is fundamental to video games, so I don't think doing things that out yourself as a game is a bad thing, considering that we're all playing games here. People say shit like, the best movies make you forget you're watching a movie. Well, it's fucking easy to forget you're watching a movie because you don't have to do anything to watch a movie except hold your head steady and keep your eyeballs open. We're always playing games, which means we are thinking about what buttons we have to press next, how quick our reaction time has to be, whether there's a pivotal challenging moment coming up like a boss encounter, how we are on health, managing our inventory. These are all gamey things that demand focus and presence. I am never unaware that I am playing a game, and I don't consider that a fault of the game because it's actually a good thing. That means the game has successfully enticed us to willingly interact with it and play by its rules. You know you're playing a game, you know that it's meaningless to your real life that you're playing a game, you know it will have no long-term measurable effects on your livelihood, but despite a distinct lack of tangible reward, a game can still entreat you to play with it for hours on end, hundreds or even thousands of them in some cases, and that's something movies and TV can't do. So bring on the giant slides, into the wall runs, into the rope swinging, into another giant slide, into a plunging attack on a stationary enemy. Bring me that shit all day long. I can't wait to play. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and consider becoming a channel member to support the channel, which is easy to do. It's just like a big old button on my channel now. So that's cool. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.